Level 1. You delete the apps, Facebook first, then Instagram. Then whatever else is still running in the background of your phone, eating your battery and your attention. You've got 280 friends on Facebook. You've spoken to maybe 9 of them in the last year. The rest are names with faces you wouldn't recognize at a grocery store. 3 people text you within a week asking if you're okay. You say you're fine, just taking a break. They don't follow up. You're still going to work, still sleeping in the same apartment, in the same city. Nothing has changed on paper. But 3 months ago, something happened with your brother Danny and the money and a court date. And you've had this thought ever since. What if you just stop? What if you become unfindable? The thought won't leave. It just sits there, getting louder every night. Level 2. You go quiet. Not completely. You still pick up for work for your landlord, for the pharmacy confirming your refill. But the personal calls go to voicemail. Your mother calls every Sunday at noon. You watch the screen light up and go dark without touching it. Kyle texts about a bar downtown, and you read it and put the phone face down. You're not angry at anyone. That's not what this is. You just want to see who pushes, who actually shows up at your door when you stop responding. After 2 weeks, nobody does. Your voicemail fills. Kyle moves on to the next guy. Your mother's messages go from worried to guilty to something quieter you don't listen to all the way through. The silence gets heavy at first, then it gets comfortable. Then you start to need it, like a drug. Level 3. You research. It starts at 2 in the morning on a Reddit thread. How to disappear completely. You expect paranoid garbage. It isn't. There are actual guides, detailed ones. Domestic abuse survivors. Men who owed the wrong people money. People who just needed to stop existing under their own name. The methods are specific. Cash only for 90 days before you leave. No purchases near your planned destination. Burn the digital footprint slowly, not all at once. A sudden deletion raises flags. A slow fade doesn't. You read for 6 nights straight. You take notes on paper. Not on your phone, not on your laptop. Paper with a pen in a notebook you plan to destroy before you go. You're not wanted by anyone. No warrants, no serious collectors. But you want to do this right. You want to actually vanish. Not just move cities and drag Reed Calloway along with you like luggage. Level 4. The money. You've got $4,800 in checking and $10,500 in savings. That's everything. No 401k worth touching early. Your car might get $3,200 if you find the right buyer. You start pulling $400 cash a week. Small enough not to trigger anything. You put it in an envelope inside an old shoebox at the back of your closet. You sell the car through a private listing. A guy named Terrence pays $3,000 cash in a parking lot on a Tuesday night and drives off without asking a single question. 12 weeks in, you've got $17,200. You've never held that much cash before. It goes in a money belt. The weight of it feels like something. Not safety, exactly. Possibility. Level 5. You pick the city. Not anywhere you've ever mentioned wanting to go. Not Denver, where your cousin lives. Not Austin, where Kyle keeps saying you'd love it. You look at mid-sized cities. High rental turnover. Enough newcomers that one more doesn't register. You settle on Albuquerque. 560,000 people. Warm enough that the street won't kill you if something falls apart. You buy a Greyhound ticket with cash from a station 2 hours outside your city. One way. Morning of departure, not before. You leave the apartment key on the kitchen counter. Take your backpack and 1 duffel bag. That's 34 years reduced to 2 bags. You don't text anyone. Not your mother, not Kyle, not your manager who's been decent to you for 4 straight years. You ghost him anyway. You walk out. The door locks behind you. You don't look back at the building. Level 6. First week in Albuquerque. Extended stay motel on Central Avenue. $210 a week. Cash up front. The woman at the desk doesn't ask for ID if you pay a deposit. The carpet smells like old cigarettes. The AC unit sounds like it's dying every hour. But the room has a lock, and nobody on earth knows your name here. You walk the neighborhoods, eat at diners, order coffee, and sit by windows and watch people move through a city that doesn't know you exist. It feels like vacation at first, like you're Between things, you know you're not between things. This is the thing. Your old phone is still on. You tell yourself you'll cancel the plan next week. You don't. You just stop looking at it until the screen stays dark on its own. Level 7. You get a new phone, prepaid. $35 from a Walmart on the east side. Cash, not registered. Nobody has the number. That first morning, you hold it, and the screen shows nothing. No messages, no alerts. Nothing waiting for you from anyone on earth. It's the most alone you've felt and the most free you've felt, and those two things turn out to be identical. Your old phone you wipe clean and drop in a Goodwill donation bin outside a strip mall. It lands next to a blender and a box of somebody's old board games. That's your entire digital existence right there in a bin. You walk back to the motel and you feel lighter and hollowed out in equal measure. Level 8, the name. You're Reed Calloway on paper. That doesn't change yet, but you stop volunteering it. You introduce yourself as Cal, short for Calloway, which nobody here knows. Cal is easier. Cal doesn't carry anything. You find a room in a shared house on Girard Avenue. 4 roommates, all early 20s, restaurant work, part-time school, the kind of busy lives that don't make space to care about a quiet new guy named Cal who pays cash and minds his business 2 months up front. The guy whose name is on the lease is Damon. He doesn't count the money, just puts it in his sock drawer and hands you a key. Your room has a lock, a window, a mattress on the floor. That's enough for now. Level 9, work. The $17,200 won't hold forever. 7 months at best if nothing breaks. You find day labor on Lomas Boulevard. Guys show up at 5:30 in the morning, and contractors come by and point at who they want. Roofing, demolition, moving furniture, upstairs. $130 to $160 cash for a full day. Your body isn't built for it. First 2 weeks, your shoulders ache so bad you can barely lift your arms past chest height. But nobody asks for a social security number when they need 3 bodies to gut a kitchen. Cash at the end of the day, no paperwork, no trail. You work 4 days a week, sometimes 5. You start looking different, leaner, harder. Less like the Reed Calloway, who had a desk job and a Netflix password, and could be found by anyone with a browser and 2 free minutes. Level 10. Your mother calls the house. You find out from Damon over breakfast 6 weeks in. He mentions it like it's nothing. Says some woman called the landline, which is still on a rental listing Damon never took down. She said she was looking for her son Reed. Didn't leave a number. Damon goes back to his cereal. He doesn't connect it to Cal. Why would he? You say that's weird and go to your room and sit on the floor for a long time. She found the listing somehow. Through an old email trail maybe. Or she hired someone. She's scared enough to hire someone. You knew she would look. You told yourself you were ready for it. You weren't. You sit there for an hour. You don't call her. You hate yourself for it, and you don't call her anyway. Level 11. The paper trail problem, you still exist. Reed Calloway has a social security number, a credit file, a last known address. That's an empty apartment someone else is renting now. Your mother has a brother who does insurance work and knows private investigators. You're not invisible. You're just currently unfocused. You spend a week reading about what a real disappearance actually requires. A fake identity bought online for $500 lands you in federal court. A legal name change takes 18 months minimum. State residency, court filings, a new paper trail that has to be established over time. You're Cal from nowhere who works day labor and pays cash. That works until it doesn't. You need to start thinking past the next 2 months. Level 12, the loneliness. You didn't expect it to feel this specific. It isn't general sadness. It's the absence of being known. Nobody in Albuquerque knows you're afraid of bridges. Nobody knows you were pre-med for 2 semesters. Nobody knows about Danny or the money or the real reason you got on that bus. Damon is decent enough. You've had beers on the front porch twice and talked about nothing important. But there's a ceiling on all of it because you're Cal, and Cal doesn't have a history. You go to a bar on a Friday night, and a woman named Priya talks to you for an hour, and it's the best conversation you've had since you left. She asks where you're from. You say, just kind of everywhere. She nods. You both feel something close right there before it ever opened. Level 13. The mistake. 8 weeks in, you're at a laundromat on Edith Street. A guy in line makes a comment about a basketball game. You answer from pure habit. Specific stats, team history, going back years, the kind of thing you don't fake. He's friendly about it, asks if you're from Phoenix. You say no, just a fan. He shakes your hand and says he's Marcus. You make small talk for 10 minutes and everything is fine. Then you're back at the house and you're sweating through your shirt over a laundromat conversation with a stranger you'll never see again. That's the level you're operating at now. 10 minutes of normal human contact and your hands won't stop shaking for an hour after. Level 14. The math. 3 months in. $13,800 left. If you stay, you'll eventually need real work with a real employer, which means your SSN somewhere in a database, which means Reed Calloway surfaces in Albuquerque and you're locatable again. If you move, you burn more money and start from zero in a new city. If you go back, you're the person who ran, which somehow feels worse than whatever you ran from in the first place. You lie awake at 3 in the morning, running these numbers over and over like a machine with no off switch. There's no clean option. There wasn't one when you left either. You just convinced yourself there was because you needed to believe it enough to walk out the door. Level 15. You decide to stay. Not because it's smart, because moving again means admitting this was always just fear with a bus ticket. You find a legal aid office downtown. Sit across from a paralegal named Sonia who doesn't ask why you want to change your name, and you're so grateful for that, you almost cry right there in her chair. She explains the process. 18 months of established residency, court filings, a fee you can afford if you're careful. She gives you a checklist, dates, steps, required documents laid out in order. You fold it carefully and put it in your left jacket pocket. You carry it everywhere after that. It's the first thing you've held in months that points towards something instead of just away from something. Level 16. 3 more weeks pass. You're working a demolition job on the west side, coming home on a Tuesday at 6 in the evening, and you're checking the mail from the box outside the house. Your name on the envelope is Cal, no last name, the way Damon labels everything. But the return address zip code is your mother's. The handwriting isn't hers, it's Danny's, your brother. He found you, or she pointed him here, or someone in a chain you can't trace backward gave something away. The envelope is thin, 1 page maybe. You stand in the front yard in the New Mexico evening, holding it without opening it. The neighbors across the street are doing something with a lawnmower. The noise of it is very loud. Your checklist is in your left jacket pocket. Your brother's letter is in your right hand. Reed Calloway is pressing in from every direction at once, and you're standing in a front yard in a city where nobody knows your name, and the envelope isn't open yet, and your hands are